translating our research to industry. I think that's a big challenge for this community. It's not just about the people, it's about having the systems to support the people to be responsive.
Hello and welcome to the Partnerships podcast series by UIN. I am Baljana Razbaeva, Manager Strategic Initiatives and your host for today. In this episode, we're joined by Esther Roberts, Deputy Director for Business Development Enterprise Partnerships at the University of South Australia, to explore how they have built a partner-first engagement model through its Enterprise Hub. Esther shares how the university has shaped its culture, structures and systems to simplify collaboration with industry and create long-term strategic partnerships.
My name is Sarah Jabber. I'm a director at UIN, and I'm going to be facilitating this chat today with Esther Roberts, who's the Deputy Director for Business Development Enterprise Partnerships at the University of South Australia. I'm really pleased to have you here, Esther. We've been working together for a number of years, and it's been amazing to see the development over the years, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We'll be hearing the story of the Enterprise Hub at the University of South Australia. Maybe just a brief introduction about Esther. As I mentioned, she leads a team of business development managers to partner with industry and researchers to address diverse and critical challenges across various sectors such as health, defense, space, agribusiness, education, the creative industries, and advanced manufacturing. Esther, welcome.
Thank you, Sarah.
I know a few years ago, not even a few years ago, last year, you presented the story at our conference in Madrid. But I know it's been a few years in the making where you are today. So maybe you can tell us a bit around what is the Enterprise Hub and what inspired its creation.
No problem, Sarah. Yeah, so the Enterprise Hub was created over a number of years, but it was really launched in 2023 with the intention of simplifying engagement for industry. So having very much a centric approach to navigating the whole university. We bring together the commercialisation experts, the research office and the business development team, as well as an operations team to support the function of the whole hub. I think one of the unique points is that it is a physical space for industry to enter the university. So it's a front door really. And I should acknowledge that we're meeting on Kaurna land, so on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people. We've been gifted a name, which is Yangalitsha Kumunka, which means for the future together. And I think that's a very fitting name for the hub. And it is bringing together all the aspects of the university under one roof and just making it really easy for us to engage with each other as well as industry. So there is a physical space as well downstairs where we host industry. We have seminar rooms and meeting rooms, as well as the startup community within the building.
I've been to the building.
That's it in a nutshell. Sorry?
I said I've been to the building a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
It's a really nice space and what you've done with it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the unique things. The staff are actually really proud and happy to come into the office. That environment really does make a difference. And I remember when I was interviewed for this role, reading through the information, what stood out to me was the slogan or the saying, space matters. And it was post-COVID, and for me to get back in to engage with internal and external stakeholders, that was really appealing to me coming from industry.
Yeah. No, that's I like those what you like the for the future together. It's very inspirational and nice to have that connection with the traditional.
Yeah, and it reflects the whole university as well. And I think that's another unique point. We're not just facilitating research, we're bringing together all the services across the university and creating a holistic offering to our partners, so that deepening those relationships.
Yeah, that's great. I guess you weren't, maybe you were there at the start. What was the main driver? Was it just this feeling of wanting to bring these services together? What kind of drove that change?
Well, I think other universities listening to this would relate to the common, I suppose, concern from industry is navigating a really large organisation and knowing who to go to and for what. So the intention was very much to be more responsive and also capture data to shape our research directions and our service offerings So we implemented a CRM system as well. That had been selected by the time I arrived. So my role was actually to capture that data, look at our relationships and how we approach it and make it more efficient. And as I said, deepening those relationships. It's actually about longevity and sustainability of the institution, and that includes the triple bottom line. So it's not just research revenue, it's impact as well.
I really like the term you used just at the beginning, partner-centric. And we also, as we were thinking about this conversation, this concept of partner first or partner-centric. Can you tell us a little bit more? What does that mean for you, for the university, and what does it look like in practice?
Sure. I mentioned earlier that we've got an operations team. So for partners that are new to the university, you can either walk through the physical door or you can visit our website and log an inquiry, and that is triage within 24 hours by our concierge. So we have a concierge on the front desk, but we also have an operations team behind this. So it's not just about the people, it's about having the systems to support the people to be responsive and also translating our research to industry. I think that's a big challenge for this community, and we've talked about it at conferences as well. It's actually taking the time to listen to the partner, understanding, and that CRM system can inform how we approach a partner as well when we go the other way and we've identified an opportunity. We can look at who else they're working with in the university. So although the business development managers in my team are often the custodians, it's if industry wants to deal directly with an academic, they're welcome to do that. We would like to just capture that data so that we can bring the pieces together and really offer a quality partnership and service.
Yeah, great. So it's really this custodians, navigators, just really concierge. I think those are all nice terms around. So the partners come through one entry point.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And in the work we've done, or what we've seen with universities around the world, these kinds of changes are very challenging. And you need to juggle multiple priorities. You need to bring various people together. So I'm curious to hear from your perspective in the journey you've been along. What were some of the biggest maybe internal hurdles or shifts that you needed to address? Was it resourcing? Was it culture? Was it financial? How did that happen for you?
Yeah, I can speak from my personal experience coming from industry myself in industry engagement roles. When I was ready to change careers, I saw the advertisement for this role and I could see that it was resourced. And it's very rare that you get the opportunity to recruit your own team. So I inquired about the resourcing and I was satisfied that it was at the appropriate level to do a really good job of industry engagement at UniSA. So resourcing was more of a challenge in terms of finding the right people and with the right mindset. And that is something at the centre of what we do. It's actually trainability and having that mindset and understanding industry, being able to translate what industry needs to our academics and also the other way around. But I would say one of the biggest challenges was probably the culture shift internally. And I took it upon myself to listen for the first 6 months, really understand our own capabilities, understand the barriers to the model and the concerns about the model, because it was quite a different culture and mindset that we were trying to create. So not rushing into anything, and especially coming from industry, because I had to learn the language here so that I could actually speak both ways as well. So taking that time, but also the challenge was wanting to be able to run and get outcomes, because we are a business development team and that's our nature. But we've had to pull ourselves back a little bit, implementing the CRM, and I think that's pretty well-known challenge. It's only as good as the users. Building the awareness of the system, working with the operations team to roll out training for academic staff. We have a number of licenses that we review on a regular basis. So it's really increasing that uptake of the use of the CRM, creating awareness outside of our brand. I think having a brand was a really good selling point, and it made our jobs a lot easier because we could build the story around the brand and having the building, which is a really unique building in Adelaide. And I don't know if there are any Adelaide listeners or people or Australians that have been to Adelaide, but we're on 9 Light Square, which has got a really quirky kind of a history. And we've paid homage to that in the design of the building. We've maintained some of those aspects, and we tell that story. It was a theatre restaurant at one stage. The original purpose was a tannery, and it was a nightclub that hosted acts like The Cure and The Smiths. So we had that story, and I think it's that point of difference, really, and invoking that curiosity and getting people into the physical space to see what we actually do.
Yeah.
So that takes time. And I would say to anyone, if you were considering emulating this model, to be realistic and perhaps give yourself 3 to 5 years to really move from that establishment to delivery mode. And I feel like we've been moving into that delivery mode to the point where we're measuring our pipeline and we're reviewing those partnerships, and we're creating more of an account management process for our partners where we're actually doing quite a lot of work and just measuring our performance as well. So we've developed joint KPIs, and some of those KPIs they're not just revenue driven, they're about behaviours, and that goes back to the culture. So creating that culture doesn't happen overnight either. That can be challenging. And I think from memory, we had a small number of people that were original. So we tapped into that internal knowledge, but then bringing people in with different perspectives as well, and getting to know each other, the human factor as well, and bringing together the research office with us as well. So we're there in the same physical space. So we have town halls, things like that. It took an extensive communication plan to deliver this.
Yeah, you touched on a number of really important factors, and I think that what you said about the space, like it tells a story, right? So people are drawn to that, and you have this feeling of, I want to be part of this, or,
Curiosity.
I think that does play a big role. I have maybe a couple of things to touch on from what you just shared with the culture change. You talked about the CRM, you talked about building trust. How did you handle that from the academic perspective? We often see that there's a bit of resistance to change. There are some researchers or academics that very clearly want to engage with industry or other external stakeholders, and some that are a little bit hesitant when you ask them, can you share some of your contacts, like to put up the walls? Have you encountered that, and what have been?
Yeah, absolutely. And I found I went out and engaged with the deans pretty much as soon as I joined the team while I was recruiting new business development managers. And it comes down to respect and listening. I've mentioned that word quite a few times, but listening to the concerns. But I think in any role, especially business development, it's about reputation and delivery. So we gave ourselves enough time, probably 18 months, to really build our reputation and deliver on our promises. And while I was working with the staff to onboard them and coach them, letting them know that, because there was that, I suppose there's that drive. It's almost like a sales drive to get those outcomes and land deals. But I think UniSA has been really good at supporting us and understanding that can take time, and you can burn relationships if you rush things too much. Yeah. So it was really just about proving ourselves for 18 months with the academics and being visible. Whilst we've got this beautiful physical space at 9 Light Square, we're only required in the office on Tuesdays so that we can collaborate with our colleagues. The rest of the time, the business development managers are out on different campuses and academic units engaging with our academics. We spend a lot of time working in those spaces and being visible as well. And I have one of my own KPIs at the beginning was to actually get to a point where there was 1 or 2 particular individuals that I would class as doubters. They weren't opposition, but they were doubters. They were actually saying, we want more business development support. We like the model. And that to me was like my ultimate measure of success for my role.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big achievement.
Yeah. That's one of the things I'm most proud of, is actually, winning the hearts and minds of the internal stakeholders, because that can be more challenging sometimes. And it is reflected when we survey at the end of each year. So our KPIs are tied to internal and external outcomes. So we survey our industry partners, but we also survey our internal customers as well. And we take note of that. And I always find the comments more valuable to a degree than an actual rating as such. And we do look at that at the end of each year and think about how we can improve or what we're doing well and maybe do more of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to be a part of a global community where universities, businesses, and public organizations come together to solve the world's biggest challenges? At UIIN, we equip our members with the skills, tools, and strategies they need to create impactful partnerships that drive real-world change. Whether it's upskilling your team, strengthening your institution's partnership efforts, or becoming more entrepreneurial, UIIN empowers you with the knowledge and support you need. Join us today. Visit uiin.org to find the best plan for your organization.
Maybe to go back to a little bit around the setup and the structures. People are often curious, especially when we're talking about like a centralized or an integrated unit. You mentioned bringing together, business development, commercialization, different areas of external engagement. Can you tell us just a little bit about how is it set up? Is it really a central unit? Does it report to the Deputy Vice Chancellor? How's it set up?
Yeah, so we are centralised and we report to the Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research and Enterprise. We tend not to focus on the centralisation. We focus on the culture and the operational processes and the ability to navigate the whole university. But we report to the Director of Enterprise Partnerships, which brings in, and the auspices of commercialisation, the Innovation Collaboration Centre, the Business Development Team and the Defence and Space Team all report into that portfolio. So it is a centralised model. I think the other interesting thing, which I think works well, is the sector alignment of business development managers. We're not aligned to faculties or specific colleges as such. We're actually aligned to the industry sector. I think that makes it a little bit easier at times to engage with industry. And going back to your original question about the challenges, that was a sticking point internally to, I guess, get the academics on board with that sector-based approach because it was deemed as a resource for them. But in actual fact, we increase the resourcing for business development across the university. So health, for example, we have 2 business development managers for health because we actually use the CRM to look at the revenue and the breadth and depth of the relationships, and we align our resources based on data.
That's a great approach. How many business development managers are there?
I've got 9 and we've got 2 for defence and space as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I think that sector alignment is, as you said, resonates with industry and it would enable more inter-faculty or cross-disciplinary type of collaboration.
And I should add that there are complementary roles out in the rest of the university as well. And they're managed the way that I suppose those academic units want to manage them. But we do have a mechanism called the Industry Partnership Network within the university. So that's bringing external facing people from across the university into the Enterprise Hub and sharing that knowledge and the tools that we're all developing amongst ourselves. So it's almost like a community within the university as well. And that's been really valuable. Like we recently designed and printed a really great document on green transition in South Australia, took that to Japan and had some success in engaging in Japan. So we've shared that with our colleagues out in the academic units. And you're able to have those conversations about the challenges that you're facing with each other as well. So I'd recommend that as an addition if you are thinking about centralising.
Yeah, having that community and that sharing of knowledge is really valuable.
Yeah. And the other initiative that our team developed is it's about actually supporting our academics in industry engagement because we can't be everywhere all the time. So we run a program called the Enterprise Club where the whole team actually will invite academics to come and pitch their ideas and their research to the whole team. So you're not just getting the business development manager that looks after that sector, you're getting different perspectives in the whole team. And we bring commercialisation our commercialisation colleagues into that. So you're getting a commercialisation spin as well. And it's really like, I guess it's a safe place to pitch your research and get advice, and also for us to share our networks if we think that there's a potential industry partner that would be interested in what they're working on. So it's really quite informal but structured at the same time to achieve that outcome.
Yeah, that's great. Do you have any incentives or reward and recognition structures for academics in place?
For academics, I think it's built into that's not built by the enterprise partnerships unit, so that lives in the academic units. But we do have staff awards and initiatives and personal development fund that you can win for your contribution. We also, speaking of performance development, we also have I touched on it earlier, a performance scheme for our internal staff in the Enterprise Hub as well. But what I have found, and I think this is a test to, I suppose, the culture and the type of people that we're lucky enough to work with, a lot of them are more driven by impact than revenue, but revenue is a reality and we need that for sustainability. So that's why we've designed our KPIs to reward the right behaviours primarily.
Yeah,
and we do acknowledge partnerships with our academics as well through award nominations in Australia. So we've won a number of awards we've got a software degree apprenticeship scheme that was designed with 4 industry partners, and that's a unique scheme where people can study for their software degree, but they walk straight into a role with the employers that we've worked with, and they've got a job from day one, pretty much, which is fairly unique for a university. We nominated that we put these nominations in for awards from the hub. So part of our job is actually to market what the academics are doing, because they're not necessarily focused on that. They're just focused on what they're doing and what they're good at. But it helps to be acknowledged as well in Australia and to create awareness so that people are taking those opportunities up.
That's really interesting. Esther, we've talked a lot about the journey you've been on, but I'm also aware that UniSA is going through a lot of change at the moment with the merger to form Adelaide University. And I can imagine that's bringing a lot more opportunities and complexities. So maybe looking a bit to the future, what does the future look like for the Enterprise Hub? What are you thinking as you go on you're in this journey of transformation?
Yeah, we're very much in it. We're in the thick of it now. So from January 1 next year, we will be Adelaide University. So we're joining with the University of Adelaide in South Australia to form this university. The way I look at it is we're amplifying what we do. We're expanding what we'll do. We'll reach across more sectors and more opportunities in those sectors. So instead of just offering our UniSA capability to an industry partner, we can package it up with University of Adelaide capability as well. So it's an enhanced offering. We'll work across more precincts in South Australia. We'll continue to work across regional South Australia. UniSA has sites in Whyalla, which is in the north, a lot of teaching, allied health and education. We're also in Mount Gambier, where we've got forestry, but then Adelaide has Roseworthy Agricultural College. So again, it's really amplifying what we're doing. And on day one, we will already be ranked 82nd globally. So that's exciting to just wake up in January and we're high in those rankings. We will be the largest domestic university in Australia. So we're projecting 70,000 students and expected to contribute $4.7 billion to the local economy here. So it's probably a once in a lifetime opportunity for those of us in the hub. That's not to say that it isn't going to be challenging, because just those numbers demonstrate the sheer volume of work we're going to be doing. And the intention is for us all to remain co-located. So colleagues will move into this space and we will be knowledge sharing. So we're already having joint capability sessions with our colleagues from University of Adelaide, where we're at either end of major main street in South Australia in Adelaide. We're already doing those capability sharing packs. We're developing an account management framework, a toolkit for our staff to use to ensure that we're maintaining our service quality and offering to our industry partners, because that's always at the forefront of our minds, and letting the business development managers focus on that. So I've been involved in a lot of the design and have brought the stuff in where I need to, but not over engineering it, and just being ready for day one at the moment. And the other exciting thing is we'll have colleagues joining us from government relations, for example, which we haven't had in the past. So there'll be new colleagues coming in, more events. Even more events. I think we had something like 870 meetings in the hub already. So that'll be a challenge, but it's also a great opportunity as well. And access to facilities from both universities, more laboratory space, just a bigger offering, basically.
Yeah, sounds
a lot.
Yeah, sounds like a lot. Sounds like an exciting time ahead.
Building on what I've already done and taking the lessons that learn.
Exactly, especially what you've shared with us today, taking that forward, building on the expertise and the knowledge that sits within both institutions.
And tweaking it as well, because we haven't always gotten it right. So actually being open to ideas from people that aren't as close to the project as well, which has been good.
Esther, I'm conscious of time. We have just gone over our allocated time, but I will, if it's okay with you, ask you one final question. You've talked about it as we've gone through, but if you could maybe leave one piece of advice for the listeners who maybe are going through something similar or are looking to establish more of this integrated, partner-centric approach, what's one thing you would advise them?
Yeah, I would say probably lead through listening. Don't rush in. Give yourself time, make sure you've got the right tools, and hire for mindset, and the rest will follow.
Yes, great. Esther, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been really nice to have you and to hear from you. And really, thanks everyone for listening in. And if you're interested in other events, just check out uin.org/events. We always have a range of great speakers lined up. Esther, thanks again, and a great evening and a great journey in the months ahead. And look forward to staying up to date with how things are developing.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you for listening to today's discussion. Follow UIN on LinkedIn, and if you're enjoying our podcast, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review in your podcast platform of choice to help other people find this content too.